Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Devongunsmith Diaries. And today we have a Highlander MacNab, quite a nice one actually, and it's in for auto safety revision. In other words, it's going to manual and a bit of stock work. So let's get into this.
If you enjoy the content, don't forget, like, subscribe and click the notification bell.
So first things first, let's just take the gun apart and I will show you what we're dealing with. Just going to put the barrels away. Okay, so this is the stock finish that came from actually quite a reputable southwest gun shop. They've had some kind of shellac finish quickly added on, but I don't know if I can show it to you. It's very bitty and it's very, very high polish, but not particularly well finished. Very grainy and bitty. So my customer asked me to, I did a demonstration on the reverse side where I took a little bit of that off. He wanted it matte or softened to a satin with an oil finish. So that's quite a lot of manual work there. But before I show you that, I'm going to get the stock off anyway because I'm going to need to do the work. And I will quickly show you. Whoops, that's quite hard. So I'll quickly show you how you can revise the auto safety to turn it to manual. You do need a little bit of steel rod just to correct it, but there's a hockey stick in there. We'll get to that in a second. Pretty sure it's a 10mm stock bolt. Yeah. That should just pop off. There you go. It's still retained. Okie doke. Quickly spin that off. There we go. Don't complain. I'm gonna be working on that. You guys, you seem to have conniption fits every time I put a piece of wood on a flipping table. Anyway, there it is. Quickly just pop that out and then replace that bar with a piece of straight steel, and that will retain that in there so that it can do what it needs to do there on the safety retaining clip, which is a sprung loaded device just to keep it in place. It won't auto safety then, it will be a selective manual safety, perfectly legal in the UK. Oops, the camera bashed away there. But before I do that, I need to crack on with this because this is going to have an oil finish, so I need to get that going well in advance. This will take me a minute or two. Oh, and somebody said, who was Joseph? Joe. Well, he was my apprentice. He moved on. That's a short answer there, guys. Somebody asked me on the last video. He moved on. These young lads, you can't hold them back. So yes, let me crack on with this. But first, let's get the stock done. So yeah, somebody used sort of shellac finish trying to do something like a French polish, and you can see it sort of glinting over there. It is what they do. It's a little cheap trick. So yeah, it happens. Right, so we want to get a satin finish with an oil finish, and there's only one thing to get this horrible over. I use shellac as a grain sealer, not as a polish. I let the waxes and oils from linseed oil and carnauba wax and stuff like that do that. This is very gritty kind of finish. It's not really exciting. It's almost like they sprayed it on, but I can see the white marks in it. So it was obviously a pre-sale quickie that they've done. There's a bit I did as an example to the customer, just to show you can get a satin finish and it's softer and gets rid of all that. But clonk, you know, I get triggered by these criticisms when they're unwarranted. It annoys me. Shouldn't let it. 5/0 wire wool, and you just do the elbow grease, guys. That's all you've got to do. Just put it in the elbow grease. We want to get close to a natural grain-filled wood finish. So when I've already done it, I can speed up the process. It is what it is, as they say. See, so that's almost like a polyurethane, but I think it's a shellac type finish, and I've just got to do the hard work to knock it back. Right, see this here? It's to stop this sliding around, not because I'm scared of you trolling me, you guys. You can troll away anyway, if you want. I don't care. I just find it annoying. I suppose for you narcissistic types that want to troll people's website, YouTube channels, I suppose you can get a bit of enjoyment out of that, I suppose. I've never understood it myself. I'm just going to try some acetone on this because this is properties a bit like polyurethane. I'm trying to figure out what this finish is. It's weird, is what it is. It behaves a bit like, you know, French polish, shellac or button polish, but it's got a sort of whitey sort of finish to it when you rub it down. I'm thinking it probably is a shellac finish. That's why I'm trying it with some acetone. It seems to redistribute when I do that. Right, you can see I'm down to the wood level layer there. So thankfully, this is not too thick, because I've got an arthritic shoulder. So I don't like doing a lot of rubbing down, as you can see. Right, so yeah, it's got kind of sticky. I think it must be a shellac base. It's just weird and I don't like it. It's hard work, put it that way. So you can see it's not focusing there. It's starting to mat up now. And I think maybe the persevere with this, that might help. Right, you can see this is being quite stubborn. Focus. Thank you. And it is quite a sticky coating, and there was quite a bit. Focus. Runs here. I've got most of them out now. There's a bit more there I haven't turned over yet. But yeah, there's a lot of crap on that as well. So it's taking some time to clear up. I don't, in this case, want to sand it down because I'll have to go through the grits again. So I'm just kind of like struggling a little bit for the greater good, if you know what I mean, because I will be able to get through this quite quickly just by softening it with a bit of acetone. And as you can see there, just wetting it up with some acetone and then burnishing it off before it has a chance to set and dry again. And that way I retain the grain seal effect. Focus, what's going on with you guys? Right, as you can see, there's still a sheen because it's not sanded, and I might better put a little bit of lift into that. Focus, what's the matter with this camera today? It will keep the grain sealed but still retain enough of a sheen, and probably take a bit of stain in there as well and warm up that wood a bit. It's a bit dull looking, but it's just a matter of making my shoulder ache. That's the short answer. But yeah, you can see it's coming nicely. It's coming away nicely. There's a few scabs there. You can see it's a game of patience, this one. I'm going to have to replace my little bit of cotton in a minute. Now, I use acetone because it's one of the universal solvents that I keep in my workshop or my kitchen, my cottage now. See, there's a scab there, you can see. Focus. So I'm going to work that away. Yeah, so acetone is a great degreaser, and it will actually release stuck, well, everything. And it degreases wood, so you see there's some scabs there I've got to clean up. Focus, well, yeah. So it's quite gunky stuff, but it does leave a nice finish, so it doesn't seem to be urethane. And you see where I've got a dribble there of solvent. It's lifted it and pulled it round to the other side. So I'm thinking it's one of the shellac type grain finishes, but I've just used it to put way too much on for a quick finish. I actually think that satin finish already looks better. I'm going to persevere with this and get this all cleaned off, and same with the fore end. And zoom out a bit there. Just keep persevering, keep on keeping on. It's not a 5-minute job, but if I don't get this done in advance and start allowing the oils to cure, I'll have done the other job, and this will be, I can have this in the background just wiping it over. Already looks better from that weird high gloss scabby finish there. That's still there. I'm doing the big areas first because that will take the worst time. And yeah, not sanding it on this occasion because it is coming off. It's just a test of my patience. As you can see there, that's where I first rubbed it down, and it's gone matte for the moment because I haven't really done much. I went straight into this side. It's getting better by the minute. It's almost there now, guys. There's the occasional bit of scabbiness that I've got to finish rubbing off. Takes a minute. As you get older, your arthritic joints don't like it. And that rubbing down, it gets to you after a while. But we're almost there, so I've got all this to do yet. I may not do that on camera, it's just too much. Obviously there's a lot of wire wool fragments in there. I'll get rid of that first. Alright. Like I said, that will be done later. I'll just focus on this bit now to see what we can do with it. Alright, so I don't usually discuss staining when I do an oil finish job. Most of my customers say, I know what you do what you do. I want to just see if I can improve on the coloration of this stock with a little bit of warmth. Oh, it seems to have improved it somewhat. Right, so that's the look with a little added stain, and that's the coloration without. It's moderate. It's probably better to my eye than your eye, to be fair. Finding this also picks up any bits. Now, also, quite interestingly, that's lifted the sheen a bit. So it's got that satin finish now. So I can close up with some oil. There's a little bit of muck there that is disclosed, interestingly. So this is why I do use, I like a little bit of stain added, because it picks out any blemishes or faults. So that's the colour before, that's the colour after. It's just a shade warmer. It's not actually shown it. That looks yellow to me in my eyes, and in the camera view it looks light brown. That looks more orangey, a warmer colour, and it does seem to pick it out better. So you can see it there as I apply it. It's just one of the little tricks that I've employed over the years, because a lot of the gun manufacturers actually have pigmented oils and sealants, which gives them that effect. Right, how does that look? That looks a bit warmer. I think I've lost the... need to drop more of this. Well, that has definitely improved the coloration. I don't know whether it shows for you guys. It still looks yellowy and yeah, under the camera. That's more a deeper colour now. A little bit of a snot there, look. It's quite useful for disclosing marks. Right, it's a lot to do, and as a YouTube video it's not really very exciting. It's just lots of rubbing down. A little bit of a snot still there. So the acetone really did help things. Now, word of warning, if you do this at home, be careful, because if it's polyurethane you'll end up with a sticky mess, and it will be a mess. So obviously the higher volume part of the stock is the bit I want to start making an impact on. These smaller parts are a lot easier to work on later. So with good old boiled linseed, you don't use a lot. That's probably more than enough. I can get a bit more on. That'll probably do. Yeah, that works. It's quite a dry stock, and I'm sure that the acetone would have pulled out more oils too. Right, you can now see a stain difference there, so I will need to correct that. I'm very anal about these jobs. Right, this is way too shiny to my customers' liking, but I'm just getting a bit of nutrition into that stock, a bit of oil. Yeah, I can see that quite clearly now. Can you see there's a difference there? I need to rectify that. Right. I don't have a cleaning cloth, so I'm going to just do what I can to remove a lot of this. Bearing in mind he wants a satin to almost matte finish. I said to him, I can't give you a matte finish, it'll have a satin finish, because you want some oil on it to seal the wood. So that's the kind of finish that we're looking for. Quite soft. I will build it up though, but it's literally that soft. If I compare it to something that's already got the shellacky finish, you can see the difference straight away. Anyway, that will now be allowed to cure, and this evening I'll clean up all this nonsense as well. But I just wanted to get that majority done, because that's where it really matters in there. Looks loads better though, doesn't it? It's lovely. Right, so now on to, I have got to do all of that and the butt plate, but we'll now move on to the action. Okay, so here is the safety. Let me see. Probably easier just to pop it out, knock it out. sharp tap is all that's needed. I don't know if you can see it. Right, the auto silencing on my mic will cut in, so it'll make it go quiet. Okay. And there it pops. So it's obviously sprung steel and it just creates that tension. So what I do normally is I pop that in a baggie. Now you will have seen they've staked it a couple of times, which I put a flat on it. So the flat sits on the top and the staking marks are to give it so it doesn't slip. So we've got to reproduce that in a piece of wire, steel wire. For the agriculturally minded, something similar to straining wire would do, but this is a bit thinner. Anyway, I've got plenty of pins from old salvage guns. But the easy thing is I can use this to measure it. And what I'll do is I'll probably put a drill bit in there as a no-go gauge to get the measurement really accurately. Right, so this is a 2mm nominal, so it's 1.9. And that is an almost perfect fit. So we're looking for something around 2mm. Let's just see what this actually reads. Actually less. So a piece of 1.5mm or just a shade under, yeah, 1.75. There's a bit of crud on there that's just going to mess that up. So see what this, 1.7, yeah. So, but we know that the rod will take 1.92 because that's my drill bit. So I will now source some material. This is an old mainspring guide, too big, and I don't have the lathe on my kitchen bench. I'll continue looking. Right, well, I went looking through my toolbox and all the usual stuff, and then I realised one of these drill shafts would do fine. Now this is high-speed steel, so it's tool steel, so obviously I need to temper it so that I can put a staking mark on it. But it's already a perfect fit. And I've got plenty of these on my toolbox. So as you can see, that will make a perfectly good safety retaining pin. I just need to temper it so that I can put a stake mark in. I'll probably just use some slide cutters, and if I do that now, it doesn't mark. So I just need to temper that with a torch, and off we go. So better clear the bench a bit for this, for my torch. So I was rabbiting away to you, camera wasn't on. Dope. Okay, my portable forge, seen better days, but it still works great. And one high-speed drill bit that fits the job. Lovely. Don't want to quench this, I'm going to remove some of this hardening, so I'm going to pop it in there and just get some heat on it. Okay, it's cold now, so let's see if it takes a crimp. Yeah, it'll mark. Oop. Focus, it will mark now. So I'll quickly cut that to the size required. And as you can see, there's a mark in there, it will hold it. Yeah, we'll crack on with that now. I'll quickly cut that in half. Okay, so there's the new safety retaining pin. There's the safety. Pops in there, no problem. Like so. Okay, so just got to align this again now. Helps if you get it the right way around. Right, it's got to be inside the inertia block there. And then you just select a point which you to insert this, usually with the flat facing the action frame. And a little bit of fiddling about will get it in there. Fingers are in the way, I'm afraid. Always the way with these jobs. There we go. It's nearly there. Just got to lift this up a bit here. Oh, just need to jam it in a bit more. I don't know if I can do this on camera. It's just a bit fiddly. There we go. Just tap it into place. That will largely hold from the friction alone. You release that there so it sits. And right, so there we have it. And it's there, it just holds, it's fine. And it's that simple. I pop that in a baggie and give it to the customer so he can always return it to autosave. But it's manually safe presently, and that's quite fine. Bit tight, need to put a drop of oil in there, I think, really. There you go, everything works better with a little bit more lubrication, doesn't it? So there you go, that's that bit done. So, returning to the stock, get a fore end, need to crack on with this now. So, what's the quickest, dirtiest, easiest way to do this, I guess? Just take it all apart. Well, that needs doing too. It's just time consuming, really, that's all. Just get on with it. Okay, on to the final part, which is just removing this weird sticky shellac substance from the butt plate. Shouldn't take too long, should it? It should be relatively easy, he said. Yeah, it's not that much on there. It's not as thickly done as the rear of the stock, that's for sure. It's certainly easier to work on this, that's for sure too. As you can see, it's only 5/0 wire wool I'm using. And it's getting right into those grooves. I'll probably give it a wipe with some acetone to pull it back completely. Home straight, guys. Customer will be happy. So we'll see how this turns out, eh? Right. Giving me arm ache already. So this is obviously acetone again. Very versatile solvent. This is really good for gun cleaning generally, actually. Residual, a bit more residue there. Nice, lovely. There we go. Seems like the ratchet's stopped working on this. Not to worry. I'll oil that up in situ. It'll be a quicker and easier method. Now you might be wondering, why is he using a flathead screwdriver? It's force of habit. When I'm using these on self-healing closed cell foam, I use this because it doesn't damage the foam. Right, so that's fitted. Now we just put a drop more oil. That looks better now. Just give it a little bit of a rub through with this, just to remove any residual crap. Oh, it looks worse now. Right, okay. A bit more on that then. Right, drop of oil on that. Let's see where we get with that. Camera's playing up now, isn't it? Typical. Home straight, guys. Customer's picking his gun up this evening, so it's all going to be good. Right, I'm going to do this on my lap, it's just easier. With that oil in there, I can use it to clean up that little bit of residual. For now, it looks overly shiny because we need it to soak in just for a minute. And then I'll hand burnish that beautifully, and it's already looking better. Give that an hour to dry, hand burnish it, and you get that lovely satin finish. It's got a light shine to it. He wanted it to be a dull shine. This is purely oil. Doesn't have to have a high luster. Right, I can use a cloth to just to buff off the excess. We're not looking for a polish here. We just want it to have a nice oil seal. There you go. Yeah, that's looking good. So it's all looking very nice and clean. Also, safety has been converted to manual. Much easier to use. Barrel's back on and we're all home straight. Ah, beautiful. So back where we started, but with a nice clean gun and a finish that's worth having. Nice satin oil finish, not this glossy monstrosity that was there before. So that's the end of another video, guys. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.